I've not been in this as long as some of you guys have, but I've been in the ministry now for a number of years, and I've rarely met anyone that humbles me and makes me feel like I don't know much of anything, you know, when it comes to being a servant or loving the Lord. I like this couple. And Corinne's vision has been for a number of years to start a training school, and you'll see in a minute on the map where he's at. He's in an area of India that officially on the law books they have an anti-conversion law. It's officially illegal to coerce someone to convert to a different religion. That's very open to interpretation, you know. At times it doesn't give them any problems, at times it gives them lots of problems. And Corinne some years back was actually almost crucified to a tree by a mob. They had him and getting ready to do it, and a guy intervened, a local village leader. So anyways, we go there to teach these guys, not him, but these other students you'll see, and you come away thinking, man, maybe I'll just sit down here and you can teach me for a while. But you'll see, I'll show you just a minute the map and stuff like that, but from Gujarat, where they live, to the north of there, they say there are 1 million villages in northern India, and a village in India may have...
Would you want the lights down?
It doesn't matter, it might show up better, yeah. That have no church in them in North India. So these might be places, you know, the size of Huntington, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 people, and not one church. So Corinne and his wife, they're two of the most humble people I've ever met, and we're riding over day one of the school. We've been working for 2 years to start this school, and riding over day one, I'm on the back of the motorcycle, and he says, you know, brother, I think we're going to start with a foot washing. I was like, okay. I've only been part of one of those in my lifetime. It was great, but, you know, I don't know if we have any Free Will Baptists in our midst tonight, but he said, I want to show these students how precious they are to us. And of course, he started with us, and it was a humbling experience. So just amazing. This is another couple on our team there, Andrew and Ela. I asked him if he knew what that shirt meant. He said no. He said, I don't need your attitude. I have one of my own. I said, you may in the future want to ask somebody, what does this mean before you actually buy it or wear it? But Ela is suffering from liver cancer and has been going through treatment, and Andrew's a real servant and helps her in a lot of the ministry. And her name is spelled Illa. You can pray for her. We had 2 really powerful prayer times with her while we were there. Just man could really feel the presence of the Lord. Just trusting the Lord to heal her. Sonal and Edison are the other couple that makes up the team there, and Edison can speak about 8 languages. And most of the languages from Gujarat south, the major languages, he can speak. And so he can speak Gujarati. It's not his native tongue. He's from, you may have heard the state of Orissa in the news, some in India, if you read much about missions. And just last year they were burning houses and churches and killing Christians in Orissa by the hundreds. And that's where he's from. So that's our team of people that we have there. And we spent, you might know that old man on the left there. That's Papa Bear. And we spent 2 weeks there teaching these guys some basic Greek and Bible study methods and some other things, curriculum we put together. It's kind of a 6-month intensive course we put together for them. They're going to be with Corinne for 6 months. Every day, doing ministry and teaching and learning and really imparting the vision to them as we go along. We rented a small house, just had like 3 rooms. I don't have the original picture. When they first sent me the picture of it, I literally laughed out loud. I don't know, I guess it was kind of a Sarah and Abraham moment, you know. I was like, this is, only God would choose a little hole in the wall like this to, you know, to really impact northern India. Larry Smith was also part of our team. He's one of our elders at our church. He's wearing his sadhu outfit that day. These guys, the 7 guys, you see the back of them, you see a picture at the front of them in a minute. We would start class about 9 in the morning and go to about 6 at night. And many days they would want to ask us questions, and we'd be there till 7 or 8 at night. And then they had assignments, and we'd come back the next day and say, we were up till 1:30, 2 in the morning. Here it is, 9 o'clock, we're starting again. And it was just amazing. A lot of them are from tribal kind of village areas, kind of backward places. And I was even amazed. Here we are teaching these guys Greek, and all this stuff. And so it was really amazing to see the hunger that they have for the Word. And they don't really have any background whatsoever. They don't have any tools. The only thing they have available in their language is the Bible. It doesn't even have a concordance in the back. It has like 2 maps. There's no concordance, no Bible dictionary, no study notes, no commentaries. We're working on some resources for them. They really don't have anything. The materials we developed and some of the things that Barry has, some of his materials we've already translated into Gujarati. We had a young lady on our team too, women's work, and this is Kima, in one of those village churches there. And she even taught them some introduction to English while she was there with us as well. We had some chances to minister. This little guy here, his name was Vinu, and he sat out on a cot, literally on a cot outside, across the street from where we taught every day. His wife did the cooking for the men, and he obviously had some kind of a stroke or some kind of, physical problem. And we prayed for him on several occasions. And I don't know, I wanted to see the guy jump up and run around the building and, Hindus just start praising the Lord or something. That didn't happen at that moment. Here's our team praying for Ela the day before she was going for treatment too. In this house where she was, above Edison on this side, was this huge hole. And everything's concrete, reinforced concrete. And there's this huge hole right above where Edison's standing. And she told us that just a couple weeks prior to that, she pretty much laid there every day. And on that particular day, her husband was going somewhere, and she said, I think I'll try to go with you. A prayer meeting or a Bible study or something. And so she went with him. And they came back, and where she laid, the roof was caved in on her bed. So there's some crazy things happening in India that really mess with your Baptist theology a little bit. So I'll spare you all those details tonight. I don't have time for that. But the Lord is healing people, and crazy things are happening, and especially in unreached areas. And India, Barry Smith put it well. He said, this is a place of extremes. Bright colors, extreme heat, hot food, extreme population. Everything is like to the 100%. But the people really have open hearts. Now this is a very illustrated picture. Right across the street from where we were working, this was being built last year when we were there, is this huge edifice of a church, beautiful building, and it's an amazing paradox, because I asked Saran, I said, how much do you think they spent on that thing? He said, probably $750,000, which in India, that would be probably like 15 or 20 million here. And yet there are literally thousands of people groups in India with not one believer, one church in them. And it's amazing, even in a place like Gujarat on the front lines, we have this inward focused, castle mentality instead of a kingdom mentality. In other words, the kingdom has pretty much stopped, advancing into the northern India. It's happening. Not that we're the only ones trying to do something about it. But in the meantime, we're building these castles and all these resources. Then you build it, and then you got to maintain it. And then you got to, it just keeps going. And so, to contrast to that, we've got 7 guys across the street in a little hole of a building. And I thought to myself the whole time I was there, the foolishness of God. The wisdom of God is foolishness to the world. And it really is. And I'm not saying there's nothing good going on here.
Who were those?
Oh, I can't say that. That was a Methodist church.
Oh, okay.
The Methodist church is pretty big in Gujarat. And Harin actually has a pretty good relationship with them. But it's all, climbing the ladder, you know, the whole denominational thing. He does have a real good relationship with them, but when you look at a map of India, on the left side of here, right above Mumbai, is Gujarat, and where that little inlet is, just up to the right is where we were. And of course to the left here is Pakistan, and then Afghanistan and all that area, you know, and up to Nepal and Tibet to the north. As you go north of there, there's some scattered churches in some of those states, but the further north you get, the more pronounced the lack of churches and gospel presence is. The state of Bihar, for example, just right underneath the flag, there's a population of some 15 million Muslims in Bihar that don't have one church and not even anyone trying to reach them. That's the population of the state of Ohio.
Wow.
Not one church. And so it's pretty, Iran has some contacts there, and those people are, I mean, it's tough. You know, there's a reason why these areas are unreached in a lot of ways and don't have churches. I mean, Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, Jainism, a lot of those isms were born right in the center of that. And then you have, you know, over 1 billion people, 1.2 billion people, 4 times the population of the United States, all slammed into this. I told someone in my small group a while back, it's kind of like the golden corral of religion. I mean, you want it; it's there somewhere, in some form. Just, you know, I kind of dig in, and but our plan is, our strategy is, we're starting with, see if Manfred's little pointer works here. We're starting with this state right here, but our plan is to move up into these areas. We have contacts in Bihar and some of these upper states here. But the plan is these men that come in to be trained, we would equip them and stand with them as they get a vision for church planting in those places. And it's not an easy task. This is the Ethne Bible Center. Ethne, the Greek word for nations or people groups. And written in Gujarati there below. That's Edison. And you see it's basically, there's a front room, the room where we're teaching, and a kitchen, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, you see this is across the street from the Methodist church?
Yeah, it's like, that big church is just like maybe 50 yards down the main road. And then there's, like 100 yards up, there's another one about that size, Methodist church again. It's crazy. It's really crazy. I think the whole state of Gujarat's only like 2% Christian or something. And then as you get north, it gets even lower. These are the students. The guy in the back of there, he's sitting on one of the mats. They unfold that, sleep on that at night. I mean, just real basic, simple, you know. This is going to be their life for 6 months. Some of these guys, they look like they're all 15, but some of them have, you know, multiple kids, and they're married and families and all that. So they've made some big sacrifices to be there. Most of them are from the area of Gujarat, this first round of students that we have. Some of them I can't remember exactly which ones. I think the second one from the right gave us testimony that that his parents aren't even believers, they're Hindus. But he got really sick one time and went to the witch doctor, and he couldn't do anything for him. And so he had a Christian pray for him, and he got well. And I think he even said, you know, man, if Jesus can heal me, then I'll serve him. And so here he is in Bible school.